And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, to our first edition, our first time here with the K-Cup Korea edition. I'm of course your host ZvP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in chat, and by my plushies as well. Welcome one and all to a brand new event. Shout out to Kanoya, shout out to TKL, shout out to the French community. Again, they're the people behind the Monday night weeklies, and also behind this event, behind the K-Cup as well. Here we go as we are jumping into our quarterfinals match. I say quarterfinals because exclamation mark be in the chat if you guys want to have a look back yourselves. The bracket is stacked, the bracket is live, but it's a bit of a smaller bracket here as we do quickly switch on over. Now, originally we were going to be covering SHIN versus Jumi. Despite the name of the event is centralized and catered towards the Korean scene, kind of like KSL, but is also open to all players. Kind of like KSL as well, where KSL is open to foreigners. Likewise, K-Cup is open to foreigners as well. And we were going to be jumping into SHIN versus Jumi, and I was messaging Jumi. I was like, Pappy, where are you? What's going on? I'm ready. And Jimmy's like, oh, I didn't know I could play. Like, Jimmy was like, oh, I signed up and I thought it was just for Koreans, so I just left, and yeah, there you go. So unfortunately there was a walkover. Jimmy was otherwise unavailable, so he wasn't able to go up against SHIN. So SHIN gets a walkover in the first round, and we are jumping into our ZvP, and spawning in the top left hand corner of Abyssal Reef we have our South Korean Protoss player, the red Protoss. It is herO. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner we have the blue Zerg player, also from South Korea, representing Gaiman Gladiators. It is SHIN. Here we go. And if you're in the chats, predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series as we jump into this best of 3. And again, exclamation mark Funada Jumi. Funada Jumi, papi. As again, Jumi, he didn't realize that everything that the event was taking place, that he was actually able to play. It's I think he just like signed up just for the lols, and he thought he was going to be removed. It's like, oh, I can play. Oh, well, I mean, I already left the house. I'm already gone. Oh, okay, never mind. But it's all good. At least we have our next round. Likewise, when it comes to the other competitors in the tournament, we do have players like Creator, Percival, Beyond, Rex, Cure, Solar. Again, we have a fully stacked round of 8. It's going to be best of 3s into best of 5s into a best of 7 grand finals. Let's go. Let us go. And again, of course, shout out to DKL and Kanoya. They're also casting in French over on their own respective channels. I believe they are covering Solar versus Cure and Percival versus Creator. So the other 2 big matches are currently being covered in French. For now, though, getting into our standard opener. Likewise, when it comes to the map pool of this event, I mean, I should emphasize, welcome one and all to Abyssal Reef, a map that I have not casted on in a month. In quite some time. Abyssal Reef is a bit of a rarity nowadays. It is a ladder map, and this tournament is using ladder maps. The reason why I say this is because every other online tournament, KSL, Pegastorm Monday, Sparkling, Tuna Cup, Tenacious Turtle, Tussle, Wardy TV Monday, Monday Night Weeklies, they all have gotten rid of the old maps. I'm referring to Abyssal Reef, Neon Violet Square, and King's Cove. I don't think a single online Open Cup actually features those maps, so we actually haven't cast on those maps in quite some time. So it's a little bit refreshing, I will say. It's a little bit refreshing jumping into them here, and very quickly we might even find out why we no longer feature them. We'll see. For now, ooh, Twilight Council opener, herO spicing it up here. Hello, Shark. But we do have a Twilight Council opener. This is a little bit more unorthodox. This is very aggressive. Typically, we expect to see Stargate openers, especially on larger maps. Welcome to Abyssal Reef. Abyssal Reef is the 2nd largest map in the map pool, 2nd largest only to Neon Violet Square. Because of that, on top of that, the 3rd, 4th, and 5th base all are very easy to maintain, to take, and to settle into. So we often see macro games. We often see late game split map scenarios on Abyssal Reef, which is why herO going into Glaives is at left field. And this is where I'm worried for SHIN. SHIN, his scouts, I mean, there's no scout at the moment. SHIN going for his 3rd expansion. Hatchcast pull into a 3rd. SHIN is happily joining up, and SHIN has no idea what's going on as we have Glaive Adepts. more gateways being thrown down, pulling out of gas. So it's going to be 4 gate claves out of herO. Now this is not an all-in. herO, he will be expanding behind this. He will be taking a 3rd base, but SHIN, if he doesn't scout this ahead of time, then he won't throw down a Roach Warren. If he doesn't throw down a Roach Warren, then he's going to have a tough time defending. Not impossible. You can defend with Banelings, and you can defend with a mass amount of Lings if SHIN doesn't overdrone. But the problem is, as we mentioned, this map has a reputation. This map has some tendencies, has a meta to it. Very often here it's all about macro, and oh my god, he gets in. Whew. He does slip in. The wall was not a herO. The wall was not a wall. The wall was open. SHIN, he slips in. SHIN, he sees everything, and now you can see immediately Roach Warren. Immediate Roach Warren, immediate Evo Chamber. He's walling up the ramp here at the natural. He is going to be pumping out as many links as he can into roaches, taking his gases to be able to afford those roaches. So far, good scout, good reaction by SHIN. Whew, that could have been a lot worse. that could have been game. That could have been game then and there. Meanwhile, shout out in the chat to Chileno Singaporean. Papi, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Bienvenidos. Good to see you once again. Chileno, papi. Good to see you as always. As here we go, the Adepts have arrived here, making his way up the ramp. But again, I believe, is this a full wall? It's not? Not a full wall. Adepts, they do dive into the main, into the natural, I should say. Links are keeping up. So far, so good. herO making his way up the ramp, at least trying to. But again, roach production has begun. We have 8 roaches on the way. And SHIN, he's ready for the surround. herO cannot commit. Not yet. He's warping in an extra wave of Adepts. Now, as a reminder, we did mention this is not an all-in. herO's expanding. herO, he's expanding, he's transitioning. He should be making Immortals back at home to get ready for the Roach counterattack. Roaches are revealed. And so far, no damage from herO. And again, he's going to need those defensive Immortals. Until then, Adepts are going to be zoned away. One Adept may just barely go down. Adepts, they shade in towards the main. Lings are in position. He commits to the shade. Lings, they get a decent surround here on those Adepts. Adepts, though, they're just fighting Lings. Roaches that do rotate over. But Adepts, yeah, they're dealt with. They're dealt with. The surround is good enough. And SHIN, he will shut down the Adepts. Likewise, we do see the Prism into the natural, into the 3rd base. Alas, gets a couple of worker kills, but not good enough. 4 drones go down. 4 drones for how many Adepts? 15. 15 Adepts for 4 workers. SHIN, he shuts down the aggression, and back at home, herO is vulnerable. herO, he is making Immortals, that is true, but herO, he lost everything, which means these links can counterattack, which means this 3rd base is exposed. So SHIN is moving out across the map. Back at home, SHIN is droning. He's droning up, he's saturating his bases, getting his 3rd base up and running. Likewise, going to be taking up, getting into upgrades, +1 range or +1 melee. They're both going to be available. Lings, they get eyes on the army. They don't quite commit, but at least he confirms, okay, it's going to be an Immortal follow-up. There's going to be sentries alongside this as well. SHIN is getting a better idea of what herO is up to. And SHIN, if you recall what I just said, I was like, oh, he's just going to drone and tech. SHIN is not droning. SHIN, he is not droning. After shutting down the Adepts, he feels ahead enough to end the game, to go for his own counter all-in. So SHIN is getting ready for an all-in. Now again, the reasoning for this all-in from the side of SHIN is because he did so well against the Adepts. The Adepts were not worth it, 100%. The Adepts were not worth it. herO is behind. Because of that, you can see herO, he's pumping out as many probes as he can. He's defending with a handful of Immortals. He's skipping warp-ins. herO is cutting corners to recover, which means he's vulnerable. He's vulnerable to an all-in, and SHIN, he's coming in. He's coming in with Mass Ravager, with Mass Lings. And the goal here is to break herO and punish him for the failed Glaive Adept aggression. And here comes SHIN. And I mean, this is the army. This is the army. 1 Immortal, 3 sentries. We have side defense on the way. The army gets spotted, and SHIN is coming in for the kill. Nice force fields, buying time. Lings, they lock down the sentries. They lock down one of the Immortals. And Prism comes in to try to reinforce. Does call pickup. Does save the first Immortal. Very nice control, saving the other Immortal as well. It does save the Immortals, does pull away. And with good enough control here, can herO hold on? Ooh, as the Biles do connect. Shield obviously going down. We have reinforcements coming, and the Ravagers are exposed. But they still maintain themselves. Likewise, down to 2 Immortals. This is the army, just 2 Immortals. We're going for another warp-in. Show us the Biles. Oh, not quite. Yeah, not quite available, but regardless, the base is falling. Yeah, the base is falling. We do have a 3rd Immortal coming in. With that 3rd Immortal, herO, he can clean this up. Yeah, with the power 3 Immortals and with the Prism, of course, with Micro. herO, he juggles well against this. herO, he will kill all of these Roaches. But while these Ravagers are buying time, Lings, they kill the base. Lings, they kill the expansion. SHIN doesn't straight up kill his opponent, but he does cripple the economy. Looking at the intel stat, he gets 20 probe kills and it gets the Nexus. So some decent damage here by SHIN. He will lose all of his Ravagers in the process. herO is going for his own counterattack, but again, an impressive hold is what I will say. A lesser player would have died. A lesser player would have lost their Immortals, right? Like, really nice juggling there by herO, juggling those Immortals, preserving them for as long as he could, was able to barely defend, survive, but now the pendulum swings from one player to the other. herO, he needs to do some counter damage as SHIN is now joining up. Now, we're in a really weird game state, just because everything is late for SHIN. Like, SHIN, he has no roach speed. He has no roach speed. He just starts +1 range. I think he just canceled he starts at +1 melee. I think he just canceled +1 range. He's going for mutas. Now, mutas are a good way to make up for the lack of upgrades. We'll get there as the depths, they get into the middle line. 6 drones going to be going down. Very nice damage. 7 drones even. herO, he's fighting back. herO, he's fighting back, and SHIN is trying to keep up. We can see herO is rushing into Sky Toss. Again, herO, he's forced to be defensive, so he's rushing into a Fleet Beacon, Stargate, +1 air attack, Sky Toss is on the way. Now, when it comes to the Muta switch, as we were trying to get into here, right now, the Roach Ravager army, the Ling Roach Ravager, it's not ideal because of the lack of all these upgrades, but Mutas, they don't really care about your upgrades. Mutas are a little bit of a different unit. They have a lot of micro potential, they have a lot of harassment potential, so going into Mutas and 0/0 Mutas have potential to wreak havoc and get a bunch of economic damage. The Void Ray gets scattered, so SHIN can always react with Corruptors once the Sky Toss gets underway. But right now it's all about the mutas, and it's all about getting economic damage and maintaining an economic lead. The goal here for SHIN is to cripple the economy and to make sure the herO doesn't recover, doesn't stabilize, while he catches up on upgrades with, with melee upgrades, with roach speed, everything else. And we do have Tempest production underway. Tempests are underway. herO, he does not scout the tech. He does not know that there's a Spire. For all he knows, it could be a Hydrogen. There could be Hive tech on the horizon. Mutas are going to be moving out. They do hug the right-hand side. Going for the Prism. Prism goes down, but this will give herO time to react, to respond. herO, he does warp in back at home. You can see him getting in position. Yeah, with his Void Rays, with his Stalkers, what little he has. Mutas, they run into the voids. So far, herO, he's holding on. Now, this is at least keeping herO pinned, and this is allowing SHIN to drone, to take more expansions. SHIN is getting up to almost 80 workers. So these Mutas are getting some value here. And SHIN, he's moving in. He's moving in, he's maxing out. He got up to almost 4 base saturation with 76 workers. Knocking down the rocks and going in for the kill. And we'll see if herO can pull off this defense. Now, Storm is not done. If Storm was finished, herO, he could deal with this. He could deal with this, but there is no Storm. He needs more time. Oh, Lings, they collapse in. They're going for the expansion. Okay, he's taking a lot of damage, but oh, SHIN, he is deterred. I mean, he sees all those High Templar. Little does he know that there is no Storm. Now would be the time to fight. Oof, Storm is now done. Yeah, Storm is now done. SHIN, he has to respect it. He has to back off. Hive is on the way, and herO holds. herO, he holds on, and now herO, he is stabilizing. I would say that these Mutas did not do enough. The Mutas, there was a lot of pressure on them, and we were hoping for some economic damage, but they did not do any economic damage at all. You could argue, oh, they contained herO, but herO was contained anyway. So herO's in a pretty good position here. SHIN, across the map, he has a Lingbane Roach Ravager. This is a mid-tier army. This does not scale well into a long game, but what this army can do is break the expansion. It's going to be costly here, but it would be worth it if SHIN can break either the 4th base or the 3rd base. Meanwhile, Corruptors, they do catch one Void Ray. They do catch a Void Ray. SHIN, he does rotate to his left-hand side. And again, SHIN, he has potential to break an expansion. I say potential because likewise Storm can annihilate this as well. They can shut down the Banelings. Speaking of, making his way towards that center expansion. Where the storms, nice force field, very nice force fields. Oh my god, yeah, the force fields, they shut down the Bailings. Bailings are coming from behind. Up the surround. Yeah, it takes out the High Templar. Massive surround there, massive flank. Bailings from behind. And with that herO, he will hold on, but it's going to cost him every single High Templar. Ay. That was 2, I want to say 4, because he forced a morph into the Archon. Now, what's important? It did cost him all the High Templar. True, he survives with 1. 1 High Templar survives, but the base lives. The base, and more importantly, the economy. So, we spoke earlier about herO stabilizing, and he did. SHIN, if you recall, we were referring how he can break an expansion. He didn't. He did not break the expansion, did not kill the Nexus, did not get the mineral line. herO, he is now holding his own. He is now kind of even things up. I believe he did lose his Tempest, though. Yeah, he lost the Tempest of the Corruptors. So he has no Sky Toss. Without Sky Toss, if he was able to preserve those Tempests, then I would favor herO, but the Tempest count was reset. So because of that, SHIN, his ground army still has potential. He can still pop off. As we do see SHIN getting into the main base, going for the Nexus. Likewise, Bailings rolling in the left-hand side. They split off, going for the mineral lines. And herO, he doesn't react. Yeah, doesn't pull away. 13 probes go down. Likewise, SHIN does hit the center expansion as well. And herO is struggling to defend here on multiple locations at once. His army is just not very mobile. Can he get the Nexus? Oh, can he get it? He cannot. Ooh. As the base survives. Base does survive. SHIN, he killed the main. So he got the mineral line here at the 4th, and he killed the main Nexus. Nice pickoffs. Likewise, herO, his army is still very Stalker based. And because of all these Corruptors, Link's coming in for another run by. And here he's committed. He is committed here. Lings, they hit the expansion. herO pushing in, he's all in. He's all in. Now, what do we have to defend here? No Ultras. 2 Ultras on the way. herO, he may just end the game here and now. He's breaking down the expansions. Corruptors, they don't shoot down. There's no Broodlords. There's a decent amount of Spine Crawlers here. And there are some of those Ultras on the way, but the Ultras are lacking upgrades. Yeah, Bailings all in. Oh my god, massive connections. The High Templar, they're going down. Yeah, he had, I want to say, like 6 storms in the bank, and not a single storm connects. herO core with his pants down. Whew. Ultras are trickling in. It's still close. We have Zealots coming in to reinforce. I mean, imagine this army with 6 more storms, but GG gets called. He has too much anyway, and herO, he breaks through and takes a lead. Whew. GG, well played. herO does take a lead. herO is 1 game away from taking the series. Whew, very intense back and forth here. Again, SHIN, he had a decent start when he broke the 3rd expansion, when he was able to cripple the economy early on. But as we mentioned, SHIN did make the choice to go into the Spire, right? He made the choice to tech into Mutas. That was an expensive decision, and we did emphasize, or at least we tried to emphasize, that the Mutas did not pay for themselves. They did not pay for themselves, and herO did stabilize when he defended against the first big ground attack at his expansion, where he was able to preserve his economy and preserve his bases. Towards the end, we saw that SHIN finally did some economic damage, but herO, he already had an army, so he was forced all in. So by the time SHIN was killing workers, herO, he just went for the all in anyway. He already built up his army. GG. GG, well played. How did herO win? If I failed to explain that, I do apologize. I tried to emphasize the moment that herO stabilized and that herO recovered. But here we go, we're getting into our next game, and spawning in the top right hand corner of Amygdala, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss, leading the series 1-0. It is herO. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, down in the series. We'll see if he can recover. Representing Gaiman Gladiators, it is SHIN. We go. Whew. So we are getting into game number 2. because he's a wizard. Well, I mean, again, Shin, he did kind of make some decisions that made him more committed. As a reminder, he did delay his upgrades, he delayed his tech in favor of Mutaplay. Likewise, he was hyper committed on Lingbane Roach Ravager. If you remember, at the time, we were trying to emphasize that Lingbane Roach Ravager is a very mid-tier army that does not scale well into a longer game. So he had to do damage, and if you recall, we were trying to emphasize that he had to break a base, and he didn't do so. He didn't pull that off. So when herO did recover. And now we're getting into game number 2. We're going to be loading into Amygdala, another large map in the map pool. And from here, we'll see how we do approach this. Now, as a reminder, herO did go for a Twilight Council opener last game. He went Twilight Council into Glaive Adepts, which failed to do damage. I do not expect Glaive Adept builds here in game 2. Not after game 1. herO did eventually recover, but part of that was also on Shin. So we're leaning towards a more standard opener this time from herO. Go. I think an easy way to sum up that last game, if you want a one-line sum up, it's the soup lies, man. The soup does lie. Just always remember that. As one army is not quite like the other, despite what the numbers say. So now, as I mentioned, Stargate opener here out of herO. It's going to be Stargate into most likely Oracle based on the rally. We'll see if he does decide to open up Void Ray instead. That is also a viable option. So you can open up Void Ray, can open up Oracle. There it is. Oracle is on the way. So something more standard. From here, we should be seeing an Oracle, a third expansion, taking up into +1 and Blink. Now, we'll see if herO throws down an earlier Twilight Council. If that is the case, then he may go for a 3-base all-in. That is not uncommon on Amygdala. Meanwhile, Shin does slip into the main base, and he will get a full scout. We'll get a full scout. Shin is aware of the opener. He's aware of the oracles. Back across the map, herO diving in between the bases. Doesn't quite commit in. Doesn't commit in. So far, 3 drones go down. Nice damage here by a herO. Does pull away. And we're soon getting to the point where Shin can throw down his tech. In the next minute or so, we should be seeing either an Evo Chamber, Roach Warren, or a Lair. We'll see what Shin goes for and how he will approach this. Whether he goes Ling Hydra, whether he goes for a Roach base opener, or even just rushes into Hydra tech. herO back at home. Ooh, that is going to be an earlier Twilight Council. Okay. First sign of aggression out of herO. Now, when it comes to this Twilight Council timing, this is a Twilight Council before Forge, so this looks like early Blink. And herO's quite fond of this. This does allow him to be more aggressive earlier, and this can lead into no gases here at the 3rd base, a gateway explosion, into a 3-base, 8-gate all-in, sometimes up to 10 gateways. Now, he's still getting the later Forge, so this tells us that he most likely is going to be going for a lower gate count. Oh, stasis in the main. Does barely connect, no! Does connect, second stasis on the way as well, and Shinny doesn't respond. Oh, late reaction, late response. And drones are getting caught, likewise diving on the queens. A little bit greedy here from herO, he will lose one of the oracles. He slaps 2 queens, but that was a bit of an expensive trade. Losing an oracle, does pull away, taking more hull damage. Oh, losing a second oracle. herO getting a little bit careless towards the end. Does get careless. He has to rebuild that oracle. He has to replenish. Likewise, how many gates are we on? So far, I believe 4. Yeah, just a 4-gate setup. Meanwhile, it is going to be Evo Chamber alongside the Lair. It was Lair first before Evo Chamber, so we're going into Hydras. From here, we could even see +1 range and a commitment into Mass Hydra. Gas is being taken, 4th base on the way. It looks like Shin is droning. Okay, SHIN, he's droning up. He's not being overly aggressive. He's getting ready for a longer game. herO Blink is almost done. It's getting there. Once Blink finishes, herO can push. So until then, herO taking a more defensive stance. Until Blink does kick in. Likewise, yeah, +1 range on the way. And we'll see if SHIN drones up that 4th base. Speaking of that 4th, oh, it's gonna go down. Wings are across the map. Does SHIN have enough at home to defend? Does hit that 3rd base. Gets a decent round on the Adepts. Not bad. Yeah, but he won't save this. He will not save the expansion. Massive pickoff. He needs that 4th, and the 4th is denied. And again, this aggression is earlier than normal because of the earlier Twilight Council. So an earlier timing here from herO catches SHIN off guard. And if SHIN can't get a 4th base, I mean, he's going to be overwhelmed. He needs a 4th desperately. Wings are trying to catch herO out. herO catching more Overlords. Ooh, catching a lot of Overlords even. You can always blink over to the other side. He's taking gases. He's taking up into Charge, Storm. Here, he's not going for the all-in. He is going to eventually take a 4th base. But so far, doing very well with these Stalkers. Trading well. Comes back to expand. Meanwhile, SHIN is taking up into Hive. He's got his Lurker Gen on the way. The Hive has begun getting into, or rushing into Lurker Tech, of course. But he does need that 4th base. He needs specifically the 4th base gases to afford Lurkers. And his 4th has been delayed. And likewise, the players expand towards each other. We have SHIN towards the top side and herO right next door. So herO, this is going to allow him to reinforce and be hyper aggressive. And I'm not so sure if SHIN can defend. Meanwhile, nice thing run by. Gets into the main base. You're going for the Temple Archives. herO, he has to pull the boys. He has to pull the boys who will defend. And it looks like he will save the Temple Archive. Storm is done. With Storm finishing, here comes the push. And again, herO's win condition is to break the 4th. And as reinforcements, they arrive so quickly. Here comes the Storm. Yeah, Storm has arrived. Massive Storm here on the Hydras. There's 1 Storm left. 1 Storm remaining. Oh, this time doesn't quite connect though. Nice split set by SHIN. Does split well, but the Hydras are exposed. There are no Lings. We need Lings to support. And these are expensive losses. Yeah, he gets overwhelmed. He gets overwhelmed. Here he blinks in, takes down all the Hydras, and he will break SHIN before Lurker Tech. Yeah, Lurkers are a little bit too late. The Queens are falling. The Hydras as well. The 4th base is going to go down. And even if SHIN holds here, he cannot afford Lurkers. Not anymore. As he's barely surviving. From here, he can just keep linking. He can just keep linking forward, keep diving in. 16 workers go down. There's still more storms left over. And GG gets called as herO cannot be stopped, and herO will take the series 2-0. GG. Whew. GG, well played, herO. He will claim the series. Again, an intense series here, an intense game 1 and game 2. SHIN, he definitely had his own strong moments in game 1, but here in game 2, herO, he was in full control. It happens in both ZvT and ZvP, but losing that first 4th base is brutal. I'm referring to the cancellation of the 4th towards the south side with the first blink timing. The first blink timing of herO. Like, that was, I don't want to say game then and there, but it set the pace. It set the pace and it set herO ahead. Just because herO had better production, more economy. Again, for a Zerg player to lose that 4th base, it slows everything down. And on top of that, because the players were forced to expand, or I should say, SHIN was forced to take the northern base, and herO expanded towards SHIN, it meant that even without a Warp Prism, even without a proxy gateway, he can just reinforce. He can just warp in at his nexus and just step on over here to reinforce his main army, and he just did not stop. Did not stop. Could not stop. GG. GG, well played. herO, he will claim it, and herO will advance on to the semifinals. And it looks like we have our first semifinals ready for us here. It's going to be a PvP between herO and Creator. Let's go. Let us go.